see my eyes are already done. I did actually film this look for you, so I'm actually going to put this up after this video. So once the video is up, I will link it in this down bar for you to click on if you'd like. I did actually already go ahead and moisturize my skin with the Ole Henriksen Sheer Transformation Moisturizer. I also prime my skin with the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. That's why this is a blurring primer and it makes you look a little bit ghostly, but it does actually help the makeup stay on all day long. I'm going to go on with my foundation. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Foundation Stick. I've only tried this once so far, so I don't really know how I feel about it, but it does match me right now, so I'm going to go ahead and apply that on. It's a little pale for my liking, so I'm going to go ahead and add in this Simply Vera Wang foundation that I got from Kohl's. It is in the shade NR107. I'm going to do a couple dots of that just to neutralize out this foundation and make it match my body better. Take my Sephora Pro brush, number 56, and I'm going to go ahead and take the whatever's left on the back of my hand and blend that in. By itself, that foundation from Simply Vera is a little bit mattifying for me, but with this hydration stick, it actually glides on very nicely. Now that that's all blended in, instead of doing concealer first, we're actually going to hop right into the cream contour so I can do it step by step. I'm going to show you some different products so you know that you don't have to just use one product to do this, and whatever product looks like it will work best for you, go ahead and try it out. The first product I'm going to show you today is this Hoola Contour Stick from Benefit. This is amazing. This is more of a bronzing color because it is a little bit more of a warm tone. I do also have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, but it is actually in my makeup kit that I use for weddings right now. That's a good kit to use too. That is one of the most popular. I then have this Cover FX Cream to Powder Contour Kit. This is pretty nice too. This is in the shade Light. These are what the shades look like right here. Again, these are more of like warm undertones, so these are more of like a bronzing instead of a contouring. The highlighting shade in here for your under eyes is pretty good. And this cream highlighter right here is amazing. It's super shimmery. The LA Girl Pro Concealer does work good as well for cream contouring, but sometimes it's a little too liquidy for me, so it's not my personal favorite, but it is super cheap and it does get the job done. Also, the L'Oreal Contour Sticks, which are actually concealers, the chubby sticks, are really good for contouring as well. I do have one of those, but it's way too light for me to contour with right now, so I'm not going to show that in this video, but know that you can use chubby sticks from the drugstore as well. I also have the Tarteist Pro Palette from Tarte, which is also 4 highlighters, 1 powder contour, and 1 cream contour. I do enjoy the cream contour in that a lot, but since it is not really that many cream contour products, I'm not going to show that in this video as well. I'd like to mention it just in case you have it. The last thing I'm going to mention and the main thing I'm going to use today is this Morphe Foundation palette, and these are the shades right here. I do use this on clients a lot to match foundation for weddings or events, but I am going to use a couple of these shades right here to cream contour. It's amazing, and this is the most affordable, biggest bang for your buck. You're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to take a dense brush like this, whether it's synthetic fibers or natural hairs. You're going to go ahead and take something that's densely packed, and you're going to go in with your coolest shade. So I'm going to go in with the coolest contour shade right here. It's a little light, but it's what's going to arch out everything before going with the darker shades. Kinds of these cream products, like the Anastasia cream product or the product that I'm using right now, tends to dry out. Just take 1 drop of argan oil, mix it around, and it makes the product brand new. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to place these on my cheekbones. I'm going to take the product and run it up into my temples and my hairline. Right now, I'm just arching at the lines before blending it in with a buffing brush. You're also going to go ahead and take this right underneath your jawline. And then when you do it on your jawline, you're going to go ahead and do it and take it right down here on your chin like so. That takes away that horrible double chin that everyone seems to have but never wants. A little bit more on the neutral side. Sometimes I don't like to tend to use a lot of gray cream contour products, so they do go with more of a grayish based powder product to contour it out. So this is more of like my neutrally bronzy shade that's going to warm up my entire face. Then I'm going to go in with this deeper shade right here and just hit the parts that I want my face to be super intense with. I'm going to concentrate that right here underneath the cheekbone. I'm going to also take that darker shade and just hit right here across the temples. You're not going to place this darker shade where you place all the other products. The other products are warming up the skin, but this is actually creating the contour. I typically don't like to take the darker shade under here because you don't want it to look like you have a dark shade underneath your jaw. I'm going to take whatever's left on that underneath my lip. Blend all this out in a little bit. I'm now going to go in with this pretty densely packed brush that's angled to go ahead and contour my nose. I'm going to pick up this shade right here and go ahead and start drawing it down my nose. Then I'm going to be looking down to the camera, but I want to show you how I do it. So I'm going to go ahead and take that product. I'm going to go ahead and start from where my brow is and drag it down. Starting with a little product and picking up more at a time. To me, to have the most natural contour that's going to make your nose look smaller but keep it looking natural is follow the natural shape of your nose. If your nose is a little bit crooked, go against the grain of it, so you're going to go ahead and move it over a little bit just to make that side look more even with the other. Since I feel like I do have a larger nose, I like to keep the bridge of the nose skinnier, so you're going to see how I make it super skinny right here in the center and then kind of widen it up a bit so it doesn't look like I have this super skinny pointy nose. Go ahead and connect it right here at the bald tip of my nose. Then I'm going to go ahead and take whatever's left and run it on the sides of my nose. On the sides right there, it makes it look like my nose is being squeezed in a little bit and a little bit more thinner. I was going to go on with the darker shade because I typically do, but since I went a little bit heavy-handed with this, I am just going to leave it at the shade right here. Before I go ahead and blend any of those shades out, I'm just going to keep sticking with this palette. I'm going to pick up some of these lighter shades right here, and I'm going to go ahead and use these all in the areas that I would highlight with concealer, besides underneath my eyes. I am actually going to take a concealer underneath my eyes. The reason I don't take creamy products like this is because I have thin skin under my eyes, which typically people do. I don't like to use creamy products like this because I feel like sometimes it creases underneath my eyes. You're going to go ahead and take any of those light shades on a fluffy synthetic brush or natural hair brush. Go ahead and run it underneath your contour. This is what helps sharpen it up before you bake it later. You're going to put some in the center of your forehead. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the ball of my chin. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my lip right here. I'm not going to put any of the lighter shade on my neck because you don't really need to highlight your neck. I am going to go ahead and take this and run it above my jawbone as well, but I'm not going to put it under the eyes like I said. Sometimes if I'm in a rush, I do like to take a damp beauty blender and blend this all out, but I feel like that doesn't blend it as well as I want it to be. I am going to go in with a damp beauty blender in a little bit to make everything look seamless, but for right now I'm going to take this dense brush from Sephora. It is a foundation brush, but I love it for cream contour, and I'm going to go ahead and blend in the deeper shades first with this. When you blend in contour, you can go back and forth, but you don't want to go down. You want to keep this where it is and up. So you want to go ahead and push this up like this. I'm not going to lie to you, cream contour is tricky to do at first, but once you get a hang of it and practice it at home, it really is easy to grab a hold of, and it does make a huge difference if you're going out. I definitely would not cream contour on the everyday basis, but if you want to and that's what makes you feel happy, go ahead and do you. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this underneath my jaw. I'm going to drag down. I'm not going to buff back and forth. Whatever's left, go ahead and run it down the sides of your neck. I'm going to leave the nose contour blending for last. I'm not going to go on with this dense buffing brush from Alpha. I'm going to go ahead and blend out all the lighter shades. These, it's okay if you get them into the darker shades. It actually will help it melt it together. I'm going to go with a pretty light concealer today, which is going to do my coverage and my brightening all in one. I'm going to take the Naked Concealer in Light Warm, and I'm going to go ahead and run this right underneath my eyes in a triangle. Typically, I don't have my eyes fully done when I do this step, so I do usually get it in the inner corner and underneath the eyelashes. But since I did record this video before, today I'm going to be very careful not to get it into my underneath blending. I'm also going to take this product and run it down the center of my nose and the sides of my nose. So your nose should look like kind of like a hot dog when you're done with it. Now I'm actually going to blend out the lighter shade first. I'm going to do the sides of my nose. I'm going to take that same brush and just buff out the darker shade that was down there. I'm not going to take this super small fluffy brush from Wet n Wild and buff in the nose contour. You don't want to take something as dense because it kind of just buffs it away since your nose is harder than your face. So you want to go with something more fluffy that just kind of airbrushes it out. Go back and forth between that and this concealer brush. Do the center of the nose. You always want to reference back to your concealer brush because if you get a little bit dark, you could just buff it over with this. Here's where I'm going to take my damp sponge and blend everything together. I'm going to take it and squeeze it and pinch it into the sides of my nose mainly. Now I'm going to turn it and go underneath the eye one more time just to pick up any excess product before I bake the under eye. Today I'm using the Kat Von D loose powder to bake my entire face. I like this powder because it doesn't have an intense flashback, which some do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this and bake my under eyes. I'm then going to take this and I'm going to bake everywhere where I put the concealer. You definitely want to bake underneath where you put the cream contour. This is what helps sharpen up the line for later when you set the powder down. Now that you have that bake on, I am going to take a very finely milled pressed powder and set the rest of my face before I go on with the powder contour. Take my Maybelline matte powder. I'm just going to set down the rest of my face. You want to take a very soft, big, loose brush just to press this down and kind of set the areas where you feel as if your makeup will break apart. You can skip this step if you want to just go in with the powder contour, but I like to do this just to ensure that my makeup will stay on all day. One thing that I always like to tell my customers when I worked in Sephora and when I worked at other retail areas is to always, no matter what, if you're getting cream contour, you have to set it with the powder contour. That's why cream contour is a little bit harder because you need more products. So I'm going to go with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Powder Contour Kit. I'm going to open this up and I'm going to take the banana shade and set all the other areas. One, I wipe off the bake, but for right now I'm going to take this grayish based contour powder in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and arch out my contour, and then I'm going to take the deepest shade and hit the sides of my perimeter of my face to warm it up a little bit. Sephora brush, I'm going to go ahead and dip into the contour shade that I pointed out in the first, the one in the middle. Hit everywhere that I contoured with this earlier with the cream contour. Make sure you get it up in your hairline so you don't have a lighter hairline than your face. I'm going to take just a little bit of a fluffier brush from Sephora. I'm going to dip into the darker shade like I said. Now I'm going over everything just to blend it out and make sure everything's effortless. Make sure you hit underneath your jaw with this and bring this down onto your neck. You definitely want to set your cream contour on your neck. I'm now going to take this smaller brush from Sephora, dip into the lighter shade again, and contour my nose. I just want to lightly hit the sides of my nose. I want to set down that cream with powder, but you don't want to make this part too harsh because you don't want your nose contour to look like, oh, she has makeup on her nose, and powder can tend to look like that. I'm now going to go ahead and dust off that bake and blend whatever's left of it onto the face. So far, dusting off all the powders, this is what you have so far. This step is optional, but it is one of my favorite steps in the entire look, and it's taking an angled brush and dipping into the banana shade and the lighter peach shade and setting underneath the eyes and the bridge of the nose. Taking that powder and setting it wherever I put highlighter earlier. I'm going to take the wet sponge one more time and just press everything together. Be careful where you have the line of your contour though, because you don't want that to look smudged. I'm going to take some of these blushes in here and this highlighter and go ahead and do that really quickly. After you do your contour, when you do your blush, you want to go ahead and pick up a little bit on a stippling brush. Start in the front and work your way back. This actually helps with making the contour look more sharp because you're bringing blush back. So it's basically lifting your whole face back. As I put on the blush, I'm going to tell you why I put the areas where I did earlier with the cream contour and the highlighter. I forgot to mention this earlier, and this is really the main part of the entire video. Why you put dark colors on the outer perimeter of your face is that's where the sun naturally hits you during the summer, and that's where you usually get tan. So the tops of your foreheads and your cheekbones naturally create a shadow with the sun, and then you want to put those in those areas to hollow it out and make your face look thinner and skinnier, and then you want to take the lighter shades and put it on the higher points of your face, like the bridge of your nose, underneath the eyes, the chin, and the forehead to draw light to them to bring it forward. It's all about an illusion of a look. You want to have the darker shades to create a contour to make everything look more hollow and sunken in, and the highlight brings forward the features that you want to show. I'm actually going to pick up that bronzer in there and just warm up the skin just a bit more. Finally, I'm going to take that highlighting brush, dip into some of the highlighter, and just highlight my face. I'm going over it with the sponge just to blend everything out. I'm going to go set the brows, put on lipstick, and set my face with some setting spray, and I'll be right back. So I went ahead and I set my face with the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. Then I went ahead and set my brows with the NYX Brow Control Freak brow gel. And then I went ahead and did my lips. The lipstick that I'm wearing today is a NYX Lip Lingerie in the shade Beauty Mark, which I love the shade because I have a beauty mark. And that pretty much completes this look. This is the cream contour that you see today. If you did like this look and it was helpful for you, please give it a big thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot to me when you guys comment and lets me know that you like how I'm doing. I really hope that you learned some tips and tricks today. And if you did, give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next one. Thanks for watching.